Aloha, I'm Sabrina with Begin Being, the channel dedicated to guiding you to be the best version of you possible, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And our ultimate goal is to guide you and help you in remembering who you are truly meant to be and why you're here. If you want to know more about the mission of Begin Being, click the link below, what to do now that you're woke. Breathing is something that I've been studying since 2019, and the more I learn about the health benefits, the more it becomes extremely valuable to me. So much so that I've made breathing practices basically a daily practice. I do breathing exercises constantly because it is so valuable and important to our health. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the importance of breathing through your nose versus breathing through your mouth. We're all looking for that next hack, the next thing that can make us healthier the fastest with the least amount of effort. We're looking for that next thing to buy, to strap to our wrist and measure different things, the best light to sit under or light to avoid, the next supplement to take, the best time of day to do certain things, and so on. Now, don't get me wrong. I have done and I do follow the various protocols mentioned. But what if it's just as simple as proper breathing? What if it's so simple that we've overlooked it completely? There is an influencer that I follow, and his name is Dr. Huberman, and he is a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. His name is Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he has the Huberman podcast. And I really admire the work that he's been doing in mental, physical, and emotional fields. A few of his podcasts have been discussions on breathing. And I heard somewhere, and please forgive me, I have no idea where this came from, if I saw it, read it in a research paper. It's possibly something I just intuited as I've been actually doing this since I was a child. So I was really excited when I saw one of his podcasts talking about the benefits of nose breathing. Now first, before we get into talking about why breathing through your nose versus your mouth is beneficial, let's talk about why breathing itself is important. Let's listen to this interesting fact from Dr. Huberman.
Breathing is unique among brain and bodily functions in that it lies at the interface between our conscious and our subconscious behavior, and it represents a bridge, literally, in the brain between the conscious and the subconscious.
Now, what does he mean by that? Well, we have a conscious and a subconscious mind. Now, in my videos, you'll hear me use the term unconscious versus subconscious, and the reason why is because I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and in hypnotherapy, we tend to use the word unconscious. Unconscious and subconscious, they mean the exact same thing though. The conscious mind is how we control things consciously. For example, right now I am making a conscious effort to talk with you, and I'm controlling my words consciously. In the meantime, my stomach is digesting, my heart is pumping blood, my lymphatic system is draining stuff throughout my system, all without my conscious effort or control. It's all happening as a part of my unconscious, as part of the unconscious process. Breathing is a unique function in that normally it runs in the unconscious background, so it's running in the background without you having to think about it. But at any moment, you can take conscious control over your breathing. So it is unique in the fact that it can run in the background, in the unconscious without you thinking about it, and you can consciously control it as well, thus making it uniquely both a function of the unconscious and conscious mind. And as Dr. Huberman said, by controlling breathing, the brain is actually trying to control its own state of mind. Why this is so vital to know is because as he continues to state, by changing your patterns of breathing, you can change what your brain is capable of doing. This means that when we control our breathing, we are controlling our brain state, and we are able to control our physical and mental health and our performance. Unfortunately, many people do not have healthy breathing habits, and they're breathing way too much per minute. If you find yourself taking 15, 20, 30 breaths per minute, you are in that category. To have normal, healthy breathing, you should be only breathing about 12 breaths per minute. To be able to do that, you need two things. The first is to pause between taking breaths. It has been found that many people are not doing this, and it's causing them to overbreathe. When you overbreathe, you are less efficient at detecting and learning new information and focusing. It is also problematic for all of your tissues, your liver, your lungs, and your stomach. So be sure to pause in between breaths. The second thing that you need to do to ensure proper breathing is to breathe through your nose. Let's talk about why you would want to breathe through your nose instead of through your mouth. Breathing through your nose has been shown to help you calm down quickly, to elevate your energy quickly, to relieve muscles cramping during exercise, muscle cramps during exercise, and for mental and physical challenges. Now, interestingly, nasal breathing actually improves, it increases the amount of oxygen that you can take into your system. Many people think that they can get more oxygen with breathing through their mouth. As Dr. Huberman states, breathing through your nose actually brings in more oxygen to your system. And the reason why is because you actually get more resistance. This increased resistance allows you to inflate your lungs more, not less. Sometimes it may seem like we're getting more air in through our mouth. Because of that less resistance, it seems like it's easier, so it feels easier to pull in the air. When in actuality, if you're breathing through your nose, you get more air into your lungs. And due to that resistance, we end up feeling our entire cavity, our belly, and hopefully maybe even our lower back as well. Another benefit of breathing in through your nose is that it actually warms and moisturizes the air that goes into your lungs. And that is actually vitally important for your overall lung health. And in this case, hard breathing through your mouth actually damages your lungs. Breathing in through your nose actually also relieves congestion. Now, it might be strange to think about when your nose is congested, like breathing in through your mouth, or breathing in through your nose. Kind of doesn't make any sense, but that's actually exactly what you should do. Doing so delivers nitric oxide to all of the tissues of your body. This allows more nutrients to be delivered and carbon dioxide to be taken out, making you healthier overall. In the book Jaws, The Story of a Hidden Epidemic, authors Dr. Sandra Kahn and Dr. Phil Elric state that abundant data now shows a difference in the facial structure of those who breathe through their mouth. Kahn is an orthodontist, and Ehrlich is a biology professor at the Standard School of Medicine. And what they have found in their studies and in their patients is that jaw breathers or mouth breathers have an elongation of their jaw. And their jaw structure is not as aesthetically pleasing, and they have droopy eyes and just different face structures that they would not normally have had they been nose breathers. And the good news is that it's completely reversible when we begin to breathe through our nose. And the changes that can occur can be very dramatic, and it can include a lift of the eyebrows and the cheek structure, and just basically a more structured jaw shape as well. And of course, improvements of your teeth. And if you're only listening right now, I am showing some before and after pictures. And lastly, I want to talk to you about the seriousness of sleep apnea. Unfortunately, there is a large percent of the population who underbreathes while they sleep, which causes them to become hypoxic because they're not taking deep enough or enough breaths, and they're getting less oxygen. In general, if you're overweight, you are more prone to sleep apnea. Now, I do say prone because Also, in addition to that, if you are a mouth breather, you can also be more prone to sleep apnea as well. And right now you may be wondering, okay, well, so I'm normally asleep when I'm sleeping. So how do I know if I have sleep apnea or not? Well, if you have any of the following, and it's not due to, normal just not getting enough sleep, or not like allowing yourself enough hours to sleep, then this might be a possibility for you. If you have excessive daytime sleepiness, or if you have excessive daytime anxiety combined with daytime sleepiness, or if you snore. And if you live alone, you can use your phone to record you while you're sleeping to find out if the snoring is a part of what you're doing. If you've had like a cardiovascular event like a stroke, or if you've had a heart attack, or if you have sexual dysfunction, if you have cognitive dysfunction during the daytime, and increased dementia, whether or not it's age-related dementia or Alzheimer's type dementia. Now please, before you start panicking or thinking, oh no, please keep in mind that these are just some of the symptoms, some of the effects that can happen if you have sleep apnea. All of the things that I've mentioned can also be caused by other things as well. So please refrain from diagnosing yourself, and if you have some of these or a good portion of these, please just go talk to your doctor, and you can do sleep studies and stuff like that. Now, because both your brain and your body are getting less sleep or less oxygen while you're sleeping, it can cause a myriad of health issues. So I definitely recommend that you get this checked out, and you take measures to stop the sleep apnea. One of the ways you can do this is by getting a CPAP machine. It's basically like a face mask that you wear hooked up to a machine while you are sleeping. Now, for some people, this can be a little bit uncomfortable, and it can be hard to sleep with a mask on your face. And another issue with the CPAP machine is that it doesn't teach you to breathe properly. And for some people, it can be a costly device. Now, fortunately, there is actually a 100% free and absolutely easy alternative. And if you're guessing about to say breathe through your nose, you have guessed right. It turns out that a lot of people with sleep apnea actually breathe through their mouth. Most people who breathe through their nose do not snore. And if you're thinking, you've been maybe told that you're a snorer, you found out that you're a snorer, you might be thinking, okay, well, hold on, wait a minute, I'm asleep. I can't help it that I'm breathing through my mouth. And you might also be going, Sabrina, you told us earlier that when we're not thinking about our breathing, it goes unconscious. And when we're asleep, we're unconscious. So how are we supposed to consciously control our breathing when we're sleeping? All of this is true. And I have good news for you. There are still techniques you can do. Well, this first one's a little bit more of a tool, but there are still things you can do to help you be a nose breather. Many people will train themselves to breathe through their nose while they're sleeping by taping their mouth shut with medical tape. Yes, this is perfectly safe. Your body will actually, if you start to, for some reason, not breathe properly, your body will actually wake you up. You will not suffocate. Interestingly, since breathing is so vital for our survival, our body has built in redundancies into our breathing system. I don't have that much time in this video to go over or go into that much detail. And if you want to geek out further on all of the functions of our breathing system, I highly recommend that you watch Dr. Huberman's videos. He actually spends, hours at a time going over all of the intricacies and all of the details about our breathing system. Super fascinating stuff. What you need to know for this video, though, is that you are safe doing that process. Now, what I recommend even more, or perhaps even better, is to combine both practicing daytime nose breathing with taping your mouth shut at night temporarily. Practicing breathing through your nose during the daytime greatly increases your ability to start sleeping without taping your mouth and breathing through your nose during nighttime. Because daytime nose breathing is known to transfer to your nighttime breathing patterns. Plus, You should be breathing through your nose during the daytime anyway, so this is just a win-win. There are a few ways you can do this. The easiest is just as you're going about your day, working, studying, just normal things throughout the day, become consciously aware of your breathing and make a conscious effort to breathe through your nose. Now, I do want to make a note here that there are certain activities where even nose breathers will breathe through their mouth. Eating, for example, talking. So as I've been talking to you, when you're talking, sometimes that is a little bit more difficult to breathe through your nose because, you're using your mouth so much. So certain activities like cardiovascular exercise, you will sometimes breathe through your mouth. Does not mean that you're constantly a mouth breather. It just simply means that some activities are more conducive to that type of breathing. Now that said, I do have a 10-minute running video. And in that video, I do discuss breathing through your nose and a certain type of breathing through your nose, like a certain way to breathe through your nose. So check out that video in the link below if you want to know more about running and breathing. Now, if you find yourself going unconscious while you're trying to consciously think about your breathing, because that can happen. Obviously, breathing is also part of the unconscious. So sometimes during the day, you might be practicing breathing through your nose. All of a sudden, you go unconscious, you're going about your day, and you realize, oh no, I'm breathing through my mouth again. Well, you can also tape your mouth using medical tape during the day. That also helps anyone who might be a little bit, think it's weird to tape your mouth at nighttime. Tape it during the daytime and you can feel more comfortable. And if taping your mouth during the day also seems pretty uncomfortable, there's also a technique that I teach during our NLP training, Neurolinguistic programming. It's a super fast tool. It takes about 10 minutes or so to do, and it basically takes like an old unwanted state or behavior and switches it for a new state or behavior that you're wanting to do. So it's a super fast, easy hack. If you are a mouth breather, you can do the technique and become a nose breather pretty much instantly. Come to our 4-day training. You'll learn a ton more stuff other than just that. And if that's of interest to you, go ahead and check out the link below and you can sign up and hopefully I'll see you there. And another way to help you become a nose breather is to consciously breathe through your nose while you're doing cardiovascular exercise. I have a couple of videos on different exercises you can do, so you can check out those links below. Do some cardio, lots of benefits of just doing the cardio as well. Plus, you can practice your nose breathing with that. And personally, I love doing a variety of breathing exercises, and there's a particular breathing exercise you can do. It's called box breathing, and that breathing will also help you become a better nose breather. One simple way to tell if you're more of a nose breather or a mouth breather is to simply close your mouth and put your tongue like on the roof of your mouth, and you should be able to close your mouth comfortably. And your tongue should be behind your teeth, and you should be able to easily breathe through your nose. How did that feel? Was it comfortable? Uncomfortable? Let me know in the comments below. One thing they pointed out in the JAWS book is that not everyone can breathe in that position. So if that's you, or if you felt like a little uncomfortable breathing like that, I highly recommend that you start doing some of the practices that we've been discussing. Now, I want to show you the difference between breathing through your mouth and breathing through your nose. So we're going to try both of these right now. First, we're going to breathe through our mouth. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe from our diaphragm, like so from our belly and going up into our lungs. So it's going to kind of feel like our belly is getting full and then rising up to our chest, like filling up our chest. Now with my students, I'm used to saying the word hanu. It's just a Hawaiian word for breathing, for breath. And so normally I will say hanu when we're doing breath work. So I'm going to say hanu and you're going to breathe in, and then I'll let you know to exhale. Ready? Here we go. Hanu. Exhale. Now we're going to breathe in through our nose. So we're still going to breathe from our diaphragm, so from our belly and up through our chest. And what you'll probably notice this time is like a little bit of resistance, but then you'll actually feel like your whole diaphragm, your chest cavity, and potentially even your lower back is getting filled up as well. All right, so we're gonna again breathe in through our nose, Hanu. Exhale. So you probably felt the resistance, and you probably felt that you were able to get more oxygen in this time. Some of you may have noticed that you had a harder time breathing in through your nose. When this happens, we often think we should avoid breathing in through our nose, and this is actually the opposite of what you want to do. Now, some of you may have felt it was like easier to breathe in with one nostril than the other. This is actually normal. This difference, though, can lead some people into believing that they have a deviated septum. Basically, there's a wall between your two nostrils, and sometimes that wall can, be crooked, and it might be like blocking one nostril or the other. Most people don't actually have one, though. A lot of doctors, what they'll do when they, discover their patients are snoring and stuff like that, is they'll often recommend getting surgery for a deviated septum for people who don't actually have one. They go through the surgery, and then they find out that wasn't actually the problem. And even if it is, there are other alternatives that I do recommend over surgery. Now, doing breathing exercises in general has many health benefits, including helping with your immune system. So even if you are a nose breather, I still recommend that you do them. Some of the types that you can do are box breathing, Wim Hof, Ha breathing, holotropic breathing, cyclic breathing, breath of fire, and more. In my 10-minute meditation video, I take you through cyclic breathing and explain the benefits of doing that particular type of breathing. I would absolutely love to go over with you box breathing, which is what can help particularly with becoming a nose breather in this video, and it deserves attention all on its own. So if you want to know more about box breathing, I'll post a link to that video below. As breathwork is very important to me, I will also be doing a video talking about the different types of breathwork and why you would choose one or the other, or the importance of choosing one to accomplish a certain goal. And I also teach Ha breathing at our Huna Training. If you want to geek out further on breathing and have about 2 hours, I highly recommend that you go and click the link below to watch Dr. Huberman's video on breathing. He goes into the details of the importance of carbon dioxide, the amygdala, hemoglobin, body pH, panic, anxiety, autonomic arousal, high altitude, and a lot more. If you've enjoyed this video today, please make sure and click that like button. It's a really good exchange of energy. And if you're interested in what we're doing, remember to subscribe and get those notifications so you'll be notified when more videos come out. If you align with the mission of Begin Being, you can help support by donating to my Patreon. If you're interested in any of the live trainings that I do, you can click on the link below and sign up for one of those. I also do coaching, so if you're ready to take your life to the next level, let me know. And I'll have courses coming out as well, so if you're interested in those, go ahead and sign up with your email and I'll get some notifications out to you about those as well. In the meantime, and as always, please remember to choose love in all that you do. Mahalo. And there's my Evie. Do you want to come in? Yes. Was the door closed? It's because I'm making a video. You want to come up here? Come up here with Ronan. Come here. Good girl. If you want to know more about the mission of our play clip. And for some people, it can actually be a costly device for you to get.